What happens next for making a Murderers Steven Avery? He won an appeal, but what does that mean? The subject of Netflix's true crime hit was in February. Since then Steven Avery has maintained his innocence ever since of Teresa Halbach's murder in 2007. His new attorney, Kathleen Zellner, joined the case in 2016 and has been working hard on his appeal ever since. This latest win has been the most significant step forward for Avery since his incarceration, but what is the next step? There's not one simple answer, but these are some of the potential outcomes. Kathleen Zellner on March 11, asking the circuit court to reverse Avery's conviction and sentence as well as requesting a new trial. As laid out in, Zellner argued that a new trial should be offered due to discrepancies surrounding the bones found in the Manitowoc County gravel pit. Zellner's recent motion said that the state spent suspected human pelvic bone fragments were discovered in the quarry, away from Avery's property, in a consistent condition to those found in the Avery yard. However, in light of previously undisclosed information being discovered by the defense in 2019, over 10 years after the conviction, this could be refuted by Avery's defense attorneys. By what's more, Zellner references him. This means there is evidence to support a theory that Halbach left the Avery property alive and that she was killed in a different location by another possible suspect, two things that were ruled out by the prosecution during the trial. It's no secret that Kathleen Zellner has spent the last few years leading her own investigation into the murder of Halbach, and this has provided. We saw much of this. The post-conviction lawyer enlisted the help of her own experts and set about testing the prosecution's theory of what had happened. She was unable to. If Avery was to be granted a new trial, his attorneys could also present these findings. In a statement to Newsweek not long after the court's decision, Kathleen Zellner explained that the circuit court might include a hearing. If the decision is made not to grant Avery a new trial, the case could go back to appellate court. It could then be decided whichever way it goes, Zellner said. Zellner has said that all. In the conclusion of her latest motion, Zellner was careful to leave this open as an option. Whatever happens next, we're sure that Kathleen Zellner seems confident that this is a big. Zellner has previously argued that they want up-to-the-minute entertainment news and features. Just hit like on